Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug. So, I finally managed to do the hard mode, and I was going to give you a rundown of how we did it and what we changed and, all that sort of thing. So, I managed to complete it on the Ogren, and this is the loadout and setup that I used. So, it turned out that the melee build that I was using was very, very good. So it was this with soft them up, slam, hard knocks, and generally taking heavy hitter. It just didn't have enough burst, and that's kind of what you need in the fight. So this is what I ended up using. I'll show you the weapons first. Went with a Mark 1 Bully Club with Momentum and Thunderous on it. Momentum to farm back some toughness, and Thunderous to help crack the Maulers and the Carapace Crushers. And yeah, it worked really well. Even with not taking the melee talents, this thing was still pretty quick at dealing with them. And as for the ranged weapon, I used the Gorgonum Mark for Twin-Linked Heavy Stubber with Reload, Flak Armor, with Blessings, which is Overwhelming Fire, and Death Spitter. This was one of the key things to use in the fight, and that'd be for breaking shields and absolutely gunning down Randon, the ranged boss, as he is the target you need to focus down first. Once he is down, you've basically won. And as for the curios I was using, I went for health with max health, toughness, and combat ability regeneration. One with toughness, max health, and combat ability regeneration, and another one with health, max health, toughness, and combat ability regeneration. This was to try and keep my point blank barrage off cooldown as much as possible. And as for the talent setup, I used something like this. Frag Bomb is an absolute game changer in this fight because you can clear a troublesome wave instantly with it. So wait till everything's kind of gathered up and it's looking sketchy, you drop the frag bomb and it clears the wave completely. Then we went down into soft them up. Enemies damaged by you take 15% extra damage for 5 seconds. This applies to ranged attacks as well. We're picking up the damage reduction, toughness damage reduction, sorry, and just more toughness. Point blank barrage into Bullet Bravado and light them up. I've tried both of these. Light them up does end up doing far more damage than Hail of Fire does in this fight. Then we're taking Ammo Stash to just have more ammo. Coward Culling, damage against suppressed enemies for you and allies in coherency, and you can kind of see the theme here. We're stacking damage debuffs on them so that everything takes more damage. And here's where it gets a bit weird. So we are going full gun lugger with this, but the only thing we're taking from the right tree is Unstoppable Momentum. 20% movement speed for 2 seconds on ranged kill. In this fight, being able to move is incredibly important. There is no standing still in this boss fight. And also, it helps clear the mines, which is a massive, massive part of the mechanics. If you don't clear them, you will end up just getting swamped, and you'll take huge amounts of corruption damage, so healing and the stims won't do anything. We did have Tent on his Ogren with the Bull Rush. He was clearing the mines as well, so any high speed ability is very good for clearing them, because you just run across them, and with the increased speed, you blow them and you're already past them. And then we're going into Get Stuck In, activating your combat ability for allies and coherence. You gain 20% movement speed. This pairs up really nicely with Bull Rush, if that's what you're going with, because that helps you run from each side during the ventilation phases. So you activate it and your entire team can run across without taking corruption damage. For me, as the gun lugger, this was more just to keep me alive, because I wasn't using this to sprint across. I was using this just to keep myself at a goodly distance away from things. We'll jump over here to the left. Too Stubborn to Die, 100% toughness replenishment while below 25% health. This just helps if things get crazy, which they will. Delight in Destruction, damage resistance per bleeding enemy in melee range. For this build, it's not really this talent we're looking for, it's this one. 15% rending for 10 seconds on elite kill. There are constantly elites, so this will just stay up at all times. And then just some more toughness damage reduction. So down the middle, as I said, we've got Get Stuck In, Bruiser, 5% combat ability cooldown reduction when you're an ally in coherency kill an elite enemy. This is going to help, as I said, there are elites everywhere. Then Won't Give In, 20% damage reduction for each knockdown or incapacitated ally within 20 meters. If things do go bad, this is going to allow you to almost clutch and get everyone up. And last but not least, Feel No Pain. You are blessed with 10 stacks of Feel No Pain. Each stack grants 2.5% toughness replenishment and 2.5% damage reduction. Again, this is just there to keep you alive. And even without taking Lucky Bullet, the amount of damage we were doing was insane. So the setup we had was Tent on his Bull Knight. So he was using a Slab Shield and the Rumbler. And he was taking a lot of the Taunt talents. So he wasn't taking Loyal Protector, but he was taking Indomitable. And then down into Attention Seeker and Payback Time. He was also taking the Frag Bomb. And we had another Ogryn with us, Trog, who was using basically the same setup as mine with the Frag Bomb. So we had 3 Frag Bombs during the fight. And we were using the in-game voice chat, which is actually pretty decent. Voice for this fight is incredibly important. If you do not communicate, you're going to have a very difficult time. So we were just communicating of, we gave a list of who goes first with the grenades. And it was literally just shout when you've used yours during a situation that's very sketchy. So we could pretty much clear 3 waves guaranteed with the frag bombs. And last but not least, our final member was Iris on a Zealot using the Spiritual Chorus to stun and reduce corruption damage. And generally what we were doing was Tent would taunt the melee boss and keep her focused on him and try and gather up as many crushers, maulers and ragers as he could. And we would literally just switch target and gun them down off of him and then go back on to breaking the shields. And breaking the shields, it is very, very important that they break almost at the same time. You have 1 or 2 seconds leeway if one breaks to burst down the other one. But if you do not break them at the same time, you'll get stuck in a loop of wasting damage and ammo, continuously trying to get the shields down. And with 2 Gunlugger Ogryns, we were basically just circle strafing around the room, taking out elites that were going to be very dangerous, and then instantly switching back to the bosses, breaking the shields. And as soon as the shields broke, we switched to rend in the ranged boss. We popped Point Blank Barrage and hosed him down. And also you got to remember with Point Blank Barrage, it does reload your weapon. So always mag dump into him, empty your gun, then press Point Blank Barrage for the increased damage, which means you're getting 2 clips worth of, 2 drums worth of ammo from the stubber into him. Obviously, it won't line up perfectly like this all the time. You will get caught into some reloads, which is why I took the 10% reload speed on the gun. It's only a small amount, but throughout the entire fight, this does add up to help you be a little bit faster. And I will say, though, with each wave that spawns, it is random what specials you're going to get. Some of the fights that I've done over the past week or 2 doing this, I've had them where I've not seen any snipers, and I've had some fights where 5 or 6 would spawn in within a minute of each other. So don't get disheartened, the waves are random. You just have to be very quick to switching over to them. And like I said before, the in-game voice comm is very, very important for this, as you really do need to coordinate what you're doing with people and shout if you need help, so people can help you instantly, because there will be netters, there will be dogs. But with a bit of dedication, banging your head against it, it's not an easy fight. And if you look on the forums of people going, "Oh, it's just so easy," it's not. It's not an easy fight. It takes practice and coordination. I mean, if you find somebody who's like level 800, they'll probably carry you through it. But, you're not always going to get that. So if you find a solid group that looks like they know what they're doing, stick with it. Chat amongst yourself of what you're doing, coordinate ability usages, and just, keep banging your heads against it. You will eventually get it. So hopefully this has helped, folks. And if you've got any other questions or anything I've missed, comment down below and I will try and talk you through any of the other points, because this is just my experience of doing it. And the gun luggers made a huge difference compared to going melee. Just the amount of damage you're able to pour onto the bosses is quite disgusting. But yeah, and I really do hope you guys managed to get it cleared, because it's a very fun fight, and getting it down, it does teach you some really good habits. It will make you a more skilled, better player for practicing this, because it teaches you some very, very, very good habits. But still, I hope this has helped, folks. If it has, please like, subscribe, ring that little bell for notification. It really helps us out. And feel free to check out the members area, where we have giveaways coming up and all sorts of lovely, lovely things. So I hope you all had a lovely holiday, and I shall see you all on the next one. So catch you later, folks.